Hello everyone, welcome to AutomationEdge tutorial. In this video, we are going to see various functionalities like saving data in database, create folders, move or copy files, and applying data validation in Process Studio. Let's understand the scenario of the plan type use case. First of all, we are going to read customer details from an Excel file. This is the sample data of customer with 3 columns as customer ID, customer name, and plan type. Then we'll apply data validation on customer data, and those are customer ID should be between 100 to 999, customer name should contain at least 5 characters, plan type should be either P for platinum or G for gold or S for silver. After applying data validation, these highlighted rows will be removed from the workflow stream. Let's have a look on them one by one. If you see these two rows having plan type as small p and capital W, and our validation is plan type should be capital P or capital G or capital S. So these two rows are invalid. Now see these two rows, our validation is customer name should contain at least 5 characters. So these two rows are also invalid. Coming forward to these 3 rows, our validation is customer ID should be between 100 to 999. So these 3 rows are also invalid. After this, we'll read another Excel file as master file which contains data as shown in here. Plan type with monthly charges are 2 columns. Then we'll create plan-wise output files and save the same data in respective tables of database. After this, we'll create a status file as output and email that file to the particular person. Then we need to create individual folders plan-wise and move the output files into them. These are the major steps used in the workflow. Microsoft Excel input, data validator, modified JavaScript value, stream lookup, filter rows, block this step until steps finished, blocking step, table output, process files, mail, write to log, Microsoft Excel output. Now let's start with the workflow implementation in Process Studio. I am creating new workflow and save it as WF underscore plan type. WF stands for workflow. Our first step is to read both the input files, customer data as well as master file. For this, we are going to use Microsoft Excel input step. Drag and drop it, double click on it to configure the properties. Provide appropriate name to your steps like INF underscore customer details. INF stands for input file. Select file type. Click on browse button to locate your input file. Click on add button so that it will list it over here. Then click on show file names button just to cross verify the path and the extension of your file. Go to Sheets tab, click on Get Sheet Name and select the sheet from which you want to read the data. Click on OK. Go to Fields tab and click on Get Fields from Header Row. It will list all the fields available in the input file. Now, just to cross verify, you can click on Preview Rows. Yes, it is reading all the data. Click on Close and click on OK. For reading master file, again drag and drop Microsoft Excel input step. Double click on it to configure the properties. Provide appropriate name like INF underscore master plan details. Select file type. Click on browse button to locate your input file. Click on add so that it will list it over here. Click on show file name button so that you can cross verify the path and extension. Go to Sheets tab, click on Get Sheet Name button and select the sheet from where you want to read the data. Go to Fields tab and click on Get Fields from Header Row and it will list all the columns available in the input file. If you want to change the data type of any particular column, you can select the data type from this drop down. Click on Preview Rows button just to cross-verify the data. Yes, it is reading all the data from the file. Click on Close and click on OK. Our next step is to perform the validations on customer data. For that, we have a dedicated step called Data Validator in Process Studio. Drag and drop it and connect it with the previous step, that is INF_customer details. Now our first validation is customer ID should be between 100 to 999. For this, double click on Data Validator step and click on New Validation button. Provide proper name to your validation like customer ID. Click on OK. Select customer ID to mention the properties of it. First is validation description. If you want to change the name of your validation, you can change over here. Now select the field on which you want to apply the validation. So we are going to apply validation on customer ID field. Provide error code. You can give any error code over here and provide error description message like invalid customer ID. It should be between 100 to 999. If you want to verify the data type, select this checkbox and select the data type. Now in data section, you can mention the various properties for the data. For example, if you want to allow the null values, you can select this checkbox. If you want to allow only null values, then you can select this checkbox. And if you want to allow only numeric data, then you can select this checkbox. So you can mention various properties according to your need. So for this, I'm not going to allow any null value for this column, and the maximum value for the customer ID is 999 and the minimum value is 100. Now the next validation is customer name should contain at least 5 characters. For this, click on New Validation. Provide proper name to your validation. Customer name validation. Click on OK and select customer name validation. Again select the field on which you want to apply the validation. Give error code and give proper error message. Invalid customer name. Select the data type checkbox and select data type. Coming towards data section, I don't want to allow any null value, so I am deselecting this checkbox, and the minimum string length should be 5. Our next validation is plan type should be either P, G or S. For this, again click on New Validation button. Provide proper name to your validation, plan type validation. Now again select the column on which you want to apply. Provide error code and provide error description message. Invalid plan type. It should be P or G or S. Select Verify Data Type and choose the data type. In data section, I don't want to allow any null value. Deselect this checkbox. Minimum value for this column should be 1. And for mentioning allowed values, you need to click on Add button, mention the allowed value, click on OK. Again click on Add button, mention the allowed value, click on OK, and repeat the same for S. This is how we have completed the configuration of data validator step. Click on OK. Save your workflow. Now, if you execute your workflow, it will give you error in the data validator step like this. Let's have a look on error message. Invalid plan type. This is because in your input file, if you see the data, our second row contains plan type as a small p, which is invalid data, and it is giving us error. So to handle this kind of error, we need to take help of write to log step. Drag and drop it and connect it with the data validator step and select error handling step as an option. Double click on it to configure the properties. If you want to give any name to your step, you can provide the same. And in log level, you can select the error over here. And that's it. Click on OK. Now save your workflow and again execute your workflow. You can see there is no error in your workflow, and you can see over here as well that it is giving errors for the invalid rows available in our input file. This data is rejected due to plan type. This data is rejected due to customer name. This data is also rejected due to customer name. This is rejected due to customer ID. This as well. And this is also. And this data is rejected due to plan type. So this is how write to log handle the exceptions. And if you click on preview data tab, then you can see the output of respective steps. For example, this is the output of customer details step. We have 15 rows in total. And if you click on data validator, now we have 8 valid rows available, and if you click on write to log, these are the 7 rows which are invalid. Our next task is to find charges using master file. Let's see how we are going to achieve this. Please notice that the data coming from customer details file, the values in plan type column are in abbreviated format, and the data coming from master detail file, the value of plan type column are in full form. So we need to match them. For that, we need to take modified JavaScript value step. Let's drag and drop it and connect it with the data validator step. Please select distribute over here because we want to distribute our valid and invalid rows. Our invalid rows was forwarded to write to log step, and we are forwarding valid rows to the modified JavaScript step. Now double click on modified JavaScript value step to write the script. Let's create a variable as ptype. I'm going to apply if condition. Now we need to mention plan type column, which is coming from customer details file, and we can access those fields from here. So I'm going to double click on it and it will reflect here automatically. Double equal to capital P. If plan type equal to capital P, then we need to assign P type variable as platinum 1000. Else, if plan type is equal to capital G, then we are going to assign value as gold 500, and in the same way for silver we are going to write the condition. If plan type equal to capital S, then P type equal to silver 100. So in this code, what we are doing, if the value in plan type column is equal to P, then we are assigning P type variable with platinum 1000, and if the value is equal to G, then we are assigning P type with gold 500, and if the value of plant type column is S, then we are assigning silver 100. So these platinum 1000, gold 500, silver 100 are the matching values coming from the master details file. You can see over here. Again, double click on modified JavaScript values tab and click on get variables button, so that variable p type is added over here and this variable will be available in workflow stream. Save your workflow and execute it. You can see the output of modified JavaScript values tab in preview data tab. You can see over here that the variable p type is added with the respective values. Now next is we need to merge monthly charges column coming from master details file with this data. For that we are going to use stream lookup step. So let's drag and drop that. Connect it with modified JavaScript values step and with master plan details step. Let me give this a proper name so that we can save our some space over here. Like this. Now double click on stream lookup step to configure its properties. If you want, you can change the step name from here. In lookup step, select INF master plan details and click on OK. Save your workflow so that it will fetch corresponding fields. Again double click on stream lookup. Now in fields, select P type. This field is coming from MJS step, and in lookup field select plan type. This is coming from master plan details file. Now select the column which you want to merge. So we are going to merge monthly charges and mention the type of that column. I am selecting number. Click on OK to complete the configuration. Now save your workflow and execute the same. You can save your workflow by pressing Ctrl S as well. Here in preview data tab, you can see the output of stream lookup step. You can notice that monthly charges column has been added over here. Now as we have all the fields available as single result set, so we can move towards our task of creating separate files plan wise. For this we need to segregate all the rows plan wise, and to achieve this we will be using filter rows step. So let's drag and drop filter rows step. And connect it with stream lookup step. Now double click on it to configure its properties. Here you need to mention the condition. Select field from here and you can see the values available in plan type from here. So if plan type is equal to capital S, that means silver, then true data will be redirected to Excel output step and false data will be redirected to another filter row step. We haven't connected those two steps in our workflow, so click on OK and let's drag and drop them. Microsoft Excel output and again filter rows. Connect filter rows to Microsoft Excel output step and select true, and connect filter rows with filter rows 2 and select false. Save your workflow and just to cross check, again double click on filter rows and you can see that the true data will be redirected to Microsoft Excel output step and the false data will be redirected to filter rows step. Click on OK to complete the configuration. Double click on filter rows 2 step to mention the another condition. Again select field if plan type equal to capital G. So if condition is true, then it will be redirected to second Excel output step, and if data is false, then it will be redirected to third Excel output step. So click on OK and let's drag and drop another 2 Excel output steps. One is here and another one is here. Connected with Excel output 2 and select true over here, and connected with Excel output 3 and select false over here. Let's rename all Excel output steps so that we can see the clear picture. Double click on it and give appropriate name. This is OTF underscore silver. OTF stands for output file. This is OTF underscore gold. And this is OTF platinum. Now you can see over here in filter rows, if condition is true, then the rows will be redirected to OTF silver step, and if condition is false, then it will be redirected to filter rows 2. And coming towards filter rows 2, if condition is true, then rows will be redirected to OTF gold, else it will be OTF platinum. Now we need to configure all the Excel output steps. Double click on OTF silver step to configure its properties. Click on browse button to locate the file path and file name. As we were supposed to provide file name as plan underscore plan name, then I'm going to provide name as plan underscore silver 100. Click on save and click on show file names button just to cross verify the path and the extension. You can notice that extension is twice, so you need to remove extension from here because it is already selected here. Now go to Fields tab and click on Get Fields button. It will fetch all the fields available in workflow stream. If you want to keep all the fields in your output file, then you can go ahead, or if you want to delete any of the field, you can delete from here. Like I'm going to delete plan type field. Click on OK to complete the configuration. Same properties we need to repeat for OTF gold step. Double click on it, click on browse button to locate the file name, give proper name, click on save, remove the extension from here, click on show file names button, go to Fields tab, click on Get Fields button and remove the column plan type. Click OK. Again repeat the same for OTF platinum. Click on browse button, give proper name, click on save, remove extension from here, go to Fields tab, click on Get Fields button and remove plan type column and click on OK. Save your workflow and execute the same. You can see the output of respective output steps in Preview Data tab. This is the output of OTF silver, this is the output of OTF gold, and this is the output of OTF platinum. And of course, let's check the output files. Click on Output folder and these are the output files. Let me open all of them. This file is having the data related to gold rows. This is having data related to platinum, and this is having the data related to silver. I hope we are clear up to now. Let's move forward. Our next task is to store all the data in database in respective plan-wise tables. For that, we are going to use 3 table output steps. Let's drag and drop that. 1, 2, 3. Let me organize my workflow first. Connect one table output step with OTF silver step. Connect another one with OTF gold, and connect third one with OTF platinum. Double click on this table output step to configure its properties. Give appropriate name. In connection field, we need to establish new connection between the database and the Process Studio. For that, click on New, mention connection name, select connection type. I'm going to use PostgreSQL. Mention host name, local host. Provide database name over here, that is training database, and provide credentials. After providing all the details, click on Test button just to confirm about the connection establishment between the database and the Process Studio. So yes, it is done. Click on OK and click on OK. In Target Schema field, click on Browse button and select the schema as public. In Target Table, provide appropriate table name as Silver 100. Select Specify Database Fields checkbox. Go to Database Fields tab. Click on Get Fields button. If you want to keep all the columns, you can go ahead, or if you want to delete any one of them, you can delete from here itself. Like I'm deleting P-type column. Now before going further, let me open PostgreSQL database. We are using training database. Let's go to schemas. Our schema is public. You can notice that in tables category there are no table available right now. Come back to Process Studio. Click on SQL button. It will automatically show you the create table command. You just need to click on execute button. Our table with name Silver 100 is created in database. Click on close and click on OK. Let's check the table in database. Refresh it and you can see that there is one table available. Expand and yes, our Silver 100 table is available over here. Repeat the same configuration for table output 2. Give proper name, gold table. Same connection we are using over here. Select schema. Give appropriate table name, gold 500. Click on specify database fields. Go to database fields tab. Click on get fields button and remove p-type field. Click on SQL button and execute the command. Click on OK, close, again on OK. Go to database just to cross verify about the gold table. Yes, our gold table is also created. Repeat the same for platinum. Again we are using same connection. Select schema. Provide appropriate name to your table. Select the checkbox. Go to database fields. Click on Get Fields button. Delete p-type field. Click on SQL button. Execute the command. Click on OK. Close. Again on OK. Go to database to cross-verify. Yes, our all three tables has been created now. If you select any one of these tables, you can see that there are no data available in the table. Table is empty. We can check for platinum as well. Again, table is empty, and check for silver as well. Our table is empty. Come back to Process Studio, save your workflow and execute the same. Our workflow has been executed successfully. Now let's check the database tables whether they are populated with data or not. Checking for gold table. Yes, data is available over here. In platinum table as well. In silver table also. So this is how we have stored our respective data into the respective plan-wise tables. Let's move forward to our next task. Our next point is to create status file as output, which will contain plan type and number of customers in each plan. After this, we will mail status output file to the configured email ID. Let's start performing this in Process Studio. What we are going to do is, first we are going to sort the data according to the plan type, and then we will count the number of customers in each plan. For that, we need sort rows step. Drag and drop this and connect it with modified JavaScript step. Select copy because I want to copy all the rows coming from modified JavaScript step to the sort rows step. Now double click on sort rows step to configure its properties. Mention the field name by which you are going to sort the data. Select the sort order as ascending and click on OK to complete the configuration. Now save your workflow and execute the same to see the output of sort rows. You can see the output in Preview Data tab. You can notice that this is the output of modified JavaScript step and this is the output of sort rows. Now our rows are sorted according to the plan type. Our next task is to count the number of customers in each plan. So for that we are going to use group by step. Drag and drop it and connect it with the sort row step. Double click on it to mention the properties. Mention the group field by which you are going to count the rows. Our group field is p-type. Mention the column name in which you want to have the customer count. Let's say I am mentioning the column name as cust count. In subject field, mention the column name what we are going to count. So we are going to count customer ID. In type field, mention the operation you want to perform. I am selecting number of values because I want to count the number of rows by p-type. Click on OK to complete the configuration. Please notice that it is showing a warning that the group by function needs the input to be sorted on the specified keys. If you don't sort the input, the results may not be the correct. You simply need to click on I understand button, because we have already provided the sorted data to the group by step. Now save your workflow and execute the same once again to see the output of group by. This is the output of sort rows and this is the output of group by. You can see here the number of customers in each plan. Now I want to save this data in an Excel output file. For that we are going to use Microsoft Excel output step. Drag and drop it and connect it with group by step. Double click on it to configure the properties. Provide appropriate name, OTF_status file. Click on browse button to mention file path and the name. Save it. Remove the extension from here as it is already selected here. Click on show file name button just to cross verify the path and the file name. Go to Fields tab. Click on Get Fields button. It will fetch all the columns available in workflow stream. Click on OK to complete the configuration. Again save your workflow and execute it. Let's check the output file in output folder. Yes, this is our output file and this is the data in it. Now our next step is to mail this file to the configured email ID from the Process Studio. For that we will be using mail step. Drag and drop it and connect it with the OTF status file. Double click on it to mention its properties. In Addresses tab, we need to mention receiver's and sender's address. In Destination Address, I am mentioning receiver's address. Here I need to mention sender name, let's say AE, and the email address of sender, that is aetrainings@automationedge.com. Go to Server tab and mention its details. smtp.gmail.com. Port number is 465. Yes, I am going to use authentication. Mention sender's email ID again. So I am copying this email ID from here and pasting this here. Provide password. Yes, I want to use secure authentication. Next tab is email message. Here, if you want to include date in your email body, then you can check this checkbox. Next is only send comment in mail body. Yes, whatever the message I am going to mention in comment here, I want to send that only in email body. If we don't select this checkbox, then auto-generated code will be also added along with email body. Let me provide message for email body here. Enclosed is the required file. Next is use HTML format in mail body. If you have mentioned any HTML tags in the mail body, then in that case you need to select this checkbox. If you want to manage the priority, then you can select this checkbox and mention the priority. Please mention subject for your email here. Status file. Now go to Attached Files tab. Now in file name, we need to mention the path of that file which we want to attach along with our email. Let me copy the path of file and paste it over here. Now click on OK to complete the configuration. Save your workflow and execute the same. It will take a bit longer to send the mail. Let's check the receiver's account whether we have received the email or not. Yes, the receiver has received the email along with output file. But if you notice that we have received this email thrice. This is because the mail step is executing 3 times as per the number of rows in the previous step. To resolve this, we need to insert blocking step before mail step. Drag and drop it and insert it before mail step. Do you want to split the connection? Yes, I want to split the connection. This step is only going to pass the last row to the next step. There are no properties to configure with it, but if you double click on it, you can see there is a checkbox available that pass all rows. If you select this checkbox, then it will again going to pass all the rows to the next step. Simply click on OK. Before executing this, let me delete the previous mail which we have received. Now save the workflow and execute it. Let's check the receiver's account again. Yes, we have received the email along with output file, and this time we have received only the single email. I hope you are clear up to now. Now our last task is to create folders as per plan. Basically, we need to give plan name to the respective folder and move all the files to the respective plan folders. The files which we have created over here. Let's see how we are going to achieve this. For creating folders plan wise, first we need to segregate the rows coming from OTF status file step with the help of toFilterRows step, and we will write create folder function in modified JavaScript value step for each plan. That is, we require 3 modified JavaScript steps. Let me drag and drop all of them first. Filter row 3, filter row 4, modified JavaScript value step 1, 2 and 3. Let me organize and rename them. Double click on modified JavaScript value step and provide name as MJS Platinum folder. Then double click on this, provide name as MJS Gold folder, and double click on this, again provide MJS underscore silver folder. Connect OTF status file with filter row 3 and select copy as the option because I want to copy all the rows from this step to filter row 3 step. Now connect filter row 3 to filter rows 4. If the condition is false, then I want to continue with filter row 4 step, and if the condition is true, then I want to continue with the creation of platinum folder. Same with filter row 4 step. If condition is true, then I want to continue with the creation of gold folder, and if the condition is false, then the silver folder will be continued. Now we need to mention the condition in both filter row step. if p type is equal to platinum 1000, then the true data will be redirected to MJS Platinum folder step and the false data will be redirected to filter rows 4 step. Click on OK. Now click on filter rows 4 step. Again mention the condition if p type is equal to gold 500. Then the true data will be redirected to MJS gold folder step and the false data will be redirected to MJS silver folder step. Click on OK to complete the configuration. Now we need to write the create folder function in all the MJS steps. Double click on MJS Platinum folder step, expand transform functions, go to file functions, double click on create folder function, and instead of variable you need to mention the path. In double quotes, let me copy the path. In output folder I want to create all my folders. Provide folder name as platinum 1000. Make all the slashes as double like this. Put semicolon at the end, and that's it. We need to do the same thing in other MJS steps as well. So I am copying this as it is. Double click on MJS gold folder step, paste it over here and only change the name of the folder as gold 500. Click on OK. Go to silver folder step, change the folder name here as well, silver 100, and click on OK. Now save your workflow and execute the same. Yes, it is executed successfully. Let's check the output folder. Yes, all the folders are created plan-wise. Now our next task is to move these files to their respective folders. For this, we are going to use process file step thrice. Let me drag and drop all of them. One, 2, 3. Connect them with respective MJS steps. Like this. Rename this process files as process files 1. Now double click on process files 1 step to configure its properties. In settings, you need to select the operation you want to perform. So we are going to perform move operation. No need to select any checkbox. Rather, we need to deselect this checkbox. If set simulation mode is on, then it will only going to check for the file existence. It will not going to perform any of the operation from here. So it is very important to deselect this checkbox. Now, in here we need to mention the source file path and the destination file path. And you can notice here that only 2 columns are available and these columns are not carrying any file path. So we need to create 2 variables for source file path and the destination file path in all the MJS steps, and will be saving file locations in them. After that, those variables name will be available here and we can use them directly. So click on OK for now and double click on MJS Platinum folder step to create the variables for source file path and destination file path as var source file path equal to, in double quotes, let me copy the path from output folder, basically I want to move plan underscore platinum 1000 file, another variable as destination file path equal to double quotes. Let me copy the path. I want to move this file to this folder. So I'm copying this as it is, like this. Of course, I need to mention the file name as well. So I'm copying this file name and pasting here, and make all the slashes as double, like this. So from output folder, this file should be moved to the platinum 1000 folder. Click on get variables button, and those variables are listed over here so that they will be available to the next step. Now the same thing we need to do with the gold and silver file. So I am copying these variables from here. Click OK. Double click on MJS gold folder step, pasting both the variables and only changing the file name. So the file name is gold 500, and of course we need to change folder name as well as gold 500. Again click on get variables button, copy both the variables from here and paste them as it is in MJS silver folder step, and change the file and folder name. So it is silver 100 here, also silver 100, and here also silver 100. Click on get variables button and click on OK. Again double click on process files one step, mention source file name field. Now those two variables are available here, like this. Now repeat the same thing with process files 2 step and process files 3 step. Double click on it, select the operation, uncheck this checkbox and select the source file path and destination file path. Again here as well, select the operation, uncheck this checkbox, source file path and destination file path, and click on OK. Now save your workflow and execute the same. Oh, it is giving me error. Let's check the error in logging tab. The reason of this error is all the process file steps are trying to move the files from the output folder, and those files are not created yet in there by all the OTF steps. And obviously if files are not created, then how we can move them? So to resolve this, we are going to use block this step until steps finish. And insert it between OTF status file and the filter row 3 step. Let me organize my workflow. Like this. Double click on it to configure its properties. What we need to mention in here that until steps OTF gold, OTF platinum and OTF silver aren't finished, do not process any of the MJS and process file steps. Now click on OK, save your workflow and execute the same. It is executed successfully. Now let's check the output folder. Let me open every folder one by one. You can notice that in folder Gold 500 there is a file available. This is the data in it. Platinum folder, platinum file, and silver folder, silver file. So this is how we have achieved this move operation. For more videos like this, stay tuned to our AutomationEdge channel. Thank you for watching.